fighting for her life after a shooting that happened early this morning on Albemarle Road. Right now, police do not have a suspect. Anybody with information is asked to call CMPD. We'll have a live report from the scene at the top of the hour, streaming on WCNC+.
Happening today, Mecklenburg County Commissioners will vote on forming a new transportation authority. This could lead to big changes like new roads, railways, and buses, all paid for by a proposed 1% sales tax increase. If approved, folks will be able to apply to join that new authority starting tomorrow.
Happening today, CMS welcomes its new chief of police for the school district. Chief Jonathan Thomas has served various roles with CMPD, from special operations and emergency management to leading teams in Western North Carolina during Helene relief efforts. That swearing-in ceremony begins this afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center uptown.
And our typical backups are already starting, but we also have a few active crashes. This crash right here, we have a picture of it. It's a crash on Old Still Creek Road at Wilkinson Boulevard. You can see the right lane being impacted there. You can still get past it. Just make sure you're driving carefully right around it. A stalled vehicle on I-77 northbound at exit 18. That's W.T. Harris Boulevard. May slow you down a few minutes, but I'm not seeing any significant impacts. And then finally, a lane blocked because of another stalled vehicle on Gilead Road at I-77. Chris?
One last look at our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. 80 degrees, that's the bottom today. And then we have a warm by 3 degrees each day heading up to Friday. Friday, the hottest day of the week, challenging 90 degrees one more time before officially calling it fall, y'all. And that's right on Monday afternoon.
The news doesn't end here. Coming up at 7 over on WCNC Plus, as we approach 1 year since Hurricane Helene, hear about funding the governor is trying to fight for. And speaking of recovery, we share the story of one Asheville business brewing up a new start and get the very latest on the lineup at next year's Coachella.
Join us on WCNC Plus. Make it a great Tuesday.
Streaming live right now at 7 a.m. and we've got some live pictures of breaking news that we're following this morning in East Charlotte. 2 people shot overnight. We know one of them is dead. Richard Devane there is live on scene. He's going to have a live report coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for waking up with us here at 7 a.m. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Here is a live look at the Queen City on another clear and slightly cooler Tuesday morning. Meteorologist Chris Mulcahy is back with us today. He has a look at the weather impact forecast. Chris.
And no major impacts. You might look at the satellite radar and see a big, nasty, low pressure system off to our east, but really it's leading to great things here local at home. Here in Monroe, you can see a beautiful sunrise. Sun's officially rising up in about 6 minutes from now. And this is pretty much how we're going to start the day. Some areas will be dealing with more cloud cover in the morning compared to others. And of course, we got to start off with a stat of the day, being your stat man, ski ba 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 da boom. We have the 8th coolest first half of September in Charlotte history. We've averaged 60 degrees. That's right through the first 15 days, the 8th coolest all time. And you were definitely feeling it. A lot of those 50s took over. We should be mainly in the mid 60s this time of year. Now officially 63 is our new average low. 59 degrees right now, so fitting the mold right near the average where we have been over the last about just over 2 weeks. Here's the coastal low that I'm talking about. Check it out. See this little box right here? That's representing that you have a little flood warning that is just around Norfolk, and it's going to continue to spiral in this general rotation. This is a counterclockwise movement that happens around these guys, but not a lot of rain is reaching us. Now, I do think that it's a little different up in the high country from Asheville up to Boone. That's where most of the rain is going to be today, and that's also where most of the moisture is as well. That's why we're seeing some pretty hefty rain rates really from the Outer Banks up into Virginia, and that's also what areas are going to be the most flood prone. So here's what it looks like. I'll get out of the way. You can see the time there in the upper right. Here's the rain chances for this morning heading in the afternoon. Notice that they're mainly west of 321 that cuts through Gastonia up to Hickory over into the Lenore area. Well, this is where most of the rain is going to be. That means Charlotte is, for the most part, staying dry today. Only exception, you might see a darker cloud, maybe a brief sprinkle. Other than that, I think that that's pretty much going to be it. But heading into the evening, better chance for a few rain showers and also a sprinkle variety, but even a better chance for a thunderstorm the further west that you go. Now, our futurecast is in general keeping rain around through the overnight, but it is going to be cloudier. So I think we close out the day with a cloudier sky. We'll hold on to a cloudier sky through the overnight. That's going to keep us in the lower 60s by tomorrow. And eventually this cloud cover is going to give way for a much sunnier end of the day. And that really ramps up our warm up. So today's the bottom. 80 degrees is the coolest high I have over the next 7, and then increasing clouds through the day leading to a mild evening. And then check out where our temperatures are headed. Boom, up to 89 degrees, near 90. This could be the last time we're challenging 90 degrees for the year, believe it or not. But as we know, fall has these ups and downs and false falls. Well, it's actually fall according to the calendar officially Monday afternoon, leading up to that, feeling definitely a little more summer-like compared to the fall-like season. That's according to our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Let's get right over to Majestic. 7 o'clock is always iffy for traffic. Let's see how it is now.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get straight to it. This is I-77 out towards the lake. You can see just north of Griffith there. 59 degrees, traffic flowing nice and smooth for the most part. Starting to see our typical backups build. So we have slow moving traffic up and down I-77. We have one active crash. It's right here. Here's the latest picture that we got from that. This crash is on Old Steel Creek Road at Wilkinson Boulevard. You can see it's out towards the right lane right there, so it is being impacted. However, you can still get around it. I'll keep a close eye on that for you. Otherwise, let's move to the north where we're following a lane that's blocked because of a stalled vehicle. This is on I-77 northbound at exit 18. That's W.T. Harris Boulevard. Again, a stalled vehicle, not a crash. Another stalled vehicle, though, to the north. This one's a bit more impactful. We're seeing more colors popping up because of this. A lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle on Gilead Road at I-77. So yes, you may want to allow for a little bit of extra drive time if you're taking I-77 southbound towards the uptown area. As we move it on over to I-85, this is not a crash. Actually, this is just a lot of people all heading in the same direction. Now it is 7:05, so I-85 inbound out towards McAdamville. We typically see these slowdowns, and that's exactly what we have going on there. Right around the Queen City at 277, looking all right. We'll have another update all coming up here shortly.
Majestic, thank you. 7:05 now. We need to get to more breaking news. This morning, this is in West Charlotte. A live look at Cross Ridge Road, where Charlotte Fire is on the scene of a house fire. Our crew is working to get more information about how this fire started. Again, this is Cross Ridge in West Charlotte there. We will keep you updated as we get more information.
And now to other breaking news we're following this morning. We're working to learn more about a double shooting that left one person dead in East Charlotte. It happened last night on Albemarle Road.
And that's where we find WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane. Richard's been at that scene all morning, and I know this is a pretty busy area, yes?
Yeah, it is quite a busy. Albemarle Road is a busy area, Lisa, but as the morning commute begins, it's not being affected by what was some police activity over my shoulder. That scene right now has been cleared by police, but this investigation is still ongoing. Let's take a look at some video. This all started this morning around right before 2 o'clock. Police say they got a call about shots fired. When they arrived on this scene right here, Albemarle Road, right near Redmond Road, they say they saw two people who were suffering gunshot wounds, a woman and a man. A medic was called, of course, taking those two people to the hospital. They were listed in with life-threatening injuries. Unfortunately, the man died of his wounds. The woman still listed with life-threatening injuries. At this time, police swarmed the area trying to collect evidence to try to find out exactly what happened. Of course, they're going to try to talk to that lady a little bit later when they can, but they say that they've been going around the entire area searching for any type of clues. They say this is an area that is an empty field, as you can see, an empty lot, if you will. And they say that basically the folks that may be involved may be folks who were homeless. They say that's why it's so important that they get any information that they can, including from anybody out there who knows what might have happened this morning right here off of Albemarle Road in East Charlotte. They say if you know something about this shooting that sent two people to the hospital, claiming the life of one of those two people, they need to hear from you. We're right here in East Charlotte. This is Richard Devane. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Richard, I mean, we can hear traffic, I think, off in the background. Albemarle Road right there. I mean, is this a pretty busy area?
Yeah, this is a very busy road. Albemarle Road, a major roadway here in East Charlotte for folks going into Charlotte and, of course, coming out. I can see traffic just going back and forth. We've already seen a few ambulances and police cars and fire trucks for just other incidents this morning, as you can well imagine. This incident did not affect traffic this morning. It's, as you can see, as Ruben's panning back over from Albemarle Road to where we're standing. This is actually for folks who may know this area. There is a Chase Bank over my shoulder behind me, as well as a Dollar Tree and some other it's a Dollar Tree shopping plaza. And it is a popular area. In this particular location over here, they say that is a spot where a number of Charlotte's unhoused folks will congregate. They say that's what they're looking into. They don't know exactly, they have not released the names of the two victims who were shot, only to tell us that the person who died was a man, the other person in the hospital is a woman. But right now, traffic is going, things are going. Police hope they can get somebody who saw something to give them some information so they can get the person responsible behind bars.
All right, Richard Devane with that live report. Thank you, Richard. The Watauga County Sheriff's is revealing more information following a potential threat at Watauga High School. We told you about this yesterday morning. The Sheriff's Office telling us that incident appears to be a hoax that originated on Snapchat. Yesterday, the district issued a statement saying it's grateful for parents and students' patience and vigilance, adding that the threat only adds fear and it's not acceptable. The Sheriff's Office also saying additional officers will be at Watauga County schools for the rest of the week. While things are now back to normal in York County, concerns continue to spread across the county after 2 boil water advisories were issued in the last 2 weeks. County leaders we spoke to say they are not taking any chances and that those alerts are meant to protect both residents and businesses. Now, while it's inconvenient, some agree safety is the priority.
I mean, I think everybody kind of finds that a little concerning and kind of like what's going on, but we just kind of prepare and do what we can to prepare for it and make sure that nobody gets contaminated in here.
The county says it will continue testing water samples to make sure the water is not contaminated. Coming up, the latest on charges expected to be filed today in the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're back in 2 minutes.
7:12 right now on WCNC Plus. President Trump sending a federal task force to Memphis. The president making the announcement in the Oval Office, surrounded by members of his cabinet, as well as Tennessee's governor. He says the effort, similar to the one in Washington, D.C., is a step toward deploying the National Guard and other federal law enforcement agencies to crack down on crime in Memphis.
This team will deploy the full powers of federal law enforcement agencies and enforcement generally to restore public safety and get dangerous career criminals off of our streets. We're going to get them off.
President Trump also suggested that Chicago could be next.
Today, we expect charges to be filed against the man suspected in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As the charges are filed, memorials across the country continue, as well as the fallout and finger pointing over political violence. NBC's Bofta Imam has the latest from Washington.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face several charges, including aggravated murder in connection with the attack on conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. According to the Washington Post, Robinson appears to have confessed in an online chat not long before turning himself in, writing, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The Post citing two people familiar with the chat and screenshots. Another possible sign that may be part of the evidence, a text message exchange, says FBI Director Kash Patel.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on two pieces of evidence. While authorities haven't confirmed a motive, the president blames the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying, including measures to use the federal government to crack down on what the administration called vast domestic terrorist networks.
We are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Back in Utah, classes resume on campus as the suspect remains on special watch status, meaning closer supervision. Now, authorities say Robinson will stay on special watch status until passing a mental health evaluation. Meanwhile, plans for a massive memorial service are underway for this Sunday in Kirk's home state of Arizona. The service is expected to draw thousands at State Farm Stadium, including President Trump. In Washington, Bofta Imam, NBC News.
The president says he's reached a deal over the future of TikTok. It comes just days before a critical deadline that will decide if the popular app remains available here in the U.S. However, he's not revealed any other details about the deal, and China is not confirming anything either. Last year, Congress passed a law requiring TikTok's parent company to sell the app to an American buyer or face a ban here in the U.S. Coming up, how Asheville breweries are getting back to business 1 year after Helene. 7:17 right now on WCNC Plus. And next week marks 1 year since Hurricane Helene devastated western North Carolina. And many businesses are still to this day working to recover. That includes breweries along the French Broad River in Asheville.
WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson shows us how these businesses are brewing up a new beginning.
Along the French Broad River, a sense of normalcy is pouring back in.
People are still telling us how excited they are to see us back open.
After months of cleanup, Highwire Brewery has reopened its doors.
So out here is our beer garden that was basically in the middle of our parking lot after the storm.
Last year, water nearly swallowed the building, washing away millions of dollars and leaving behind a muddy mess.
We did put a plaque up here on the wall where we think the water line was. That's where the mud ended.
For Christine Ferguson, the director of retail operations, it once felt like every pint of hope had been swept away.
It kind of took your breath away the first time you saw the water and the extent of the damage that it did.
But piece by piece, and with community support, Highwire returned to the river.
I think that sparked hope in a lot of people in town.
Next door at Wedge Brewery, hope is still fermenting as cleanup continues. The owner, Tim Schaller, sees opportunity in the rubble.
So what I've seen is you get a chance to do things that you wanted to do before you would never stop to do. So I've rebuilt this garden, rearranging stuff inside. We're taking less space inside. So just being forced to take a step back and say, okay, what do I want to do? Not just get open, but how do you do it right? And like I say, at 79, this is probably the last one I'll do, so I get to do it really well.
His wish is simple, to see visitors back at the bar stools.
Well, fall is always wonderful in Asheville, and downtown is open, the River Arts is open, and it's just come on down and we're going to have a good party and we know how to do it, so join us.
Reporting in Asheville, Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
And how quick something like that could happen, because it was about this time last year that there was signs of maybe an investigation of a wave that had no idea of really what it was going to do, where it was going to trend, and then all of a sudden it was about by the time frame to get this weekend, and wow, this is a really strong storm heading right towards the little Gulf area, and then eventually looked like it was going to hit the Carolinas. So really it shows you how quickly situations like that can develop. And this one that you're looking at right now is not really a near-term worry. However, it does look like it's going to be a monster storm. This likely within the next 24 hours to even 48 hours, but I think more so in the next day or so, is going to become Tropical Storm Gabrielle, and I think quickly could intensify into a hurricane. But here's the good news. It does look like this is going to turn back out to sea. After that, we have Umberto. It'll be a little bit of a wait for at least this wave. It's really not until days 3 through 7 that we potentially could try to follow suit. This one right now does look like it's trending a little bit further down to the south, but no immediate effects and threats to the United States, because Invest 92L, as it is currently named and tracked, whenever there's an investigation by the National Hurricane Center, it will have these fancy plots, these spaghetti plots, showing the general turn and direction that it's going. Now, there still are a few outliers showing that, hey, it's going to continue off towards the north and west, and then eventually could be the effects to the United States. But right now, a majority of them have them curving back out towards Bermuda, but even missing it to the east. So that's so far so good as far as the trend goes, and I'm really hoping that it continues to follow this. But it also shows like how below normal that we are, because today is September 16th. On average, this should be our 9th storm of the season. That'll bring us up to Imelda. We were behind schedule last year, but not this far behind. So I think once things start to fire, it's really going to be an active couple of weeks to end September and begin October. But right now, well behind it, but expect a lot more tropical activity, especially over the next couple of weeks as we are really ramping up hurricane season. Hopefully traffic's not ramping up too much. Let's check with Majestic though.
Good morning, everyone. Time to wake up and get the morning started. You can see traffic is starting to move rather slowly. We do have several accidents in place, but also it's starting to just be that time of the day, 7:22 now, as people are waking up and heading out the door. We do have an active crash, a picture of it right here in Brown Brookshire Boulevard before Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Keep this one in mind. Again, there's that picture. We'll talk about exactly what I'm seeing on my map in just a second, but I want to get you out to I-85 southbound lanes being being highly impacted by this. It's a vehicle fire. I-85 south at Edgewood Road. You can see exactly where that is. Exit 13 backed up at least 1 mile there, so you may just want to take Highway 74 instead for your best alternate route. Not sure how long those delays will be. This is the picture that I just showed you. Again, a crash on Berkshire Boulevard at Mount Holly, Huntersville Road. Not seeing a lot of impacts, but still something that I'm continuing to keep a close eye on. This one is still ongoing. A lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. This is north of Uptown on I-77 northbound at exit 18. That's W.T. Harris Boulevard. So as you can see, multiple things ongoing. We'll have another update coming up here shortly. Larry.
Hi, this story sprinkled time for our Tuesday Tailwagger along with their friends at Animal Care and Control. A big thank you to everyone who adopted the cats and kittens over the upcoming this past weekend. Let's talk about today's Tailwagger. This is Kalili. Kalili is about 8 years old. You'd never know it. Just a sweet dog, happy dog. Weighs about 55 pounds. She's in foster care right now. Is house trained, knows some commands, loves to be in the little kiddie pool. Just a great dog. Probably better if she's the only dog in the household. She's available today. Her name is Kalili at Animal Care and Control. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5. You can log on to animalcareclt.org for all of the information. One more time, let's check her out. What a sweet dog. Her name is Kalili. She's about 8 years old, weighs about 55 pounds. She's available today, and Kalili is our very special Tuesday Tailwagger.
And trending this morning, the all-star lineup for Coachella announced. Of course, one of the biggest music festivals there are out there. The headliners are Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. Other acts include Teddy Swims, Cat's Eye, Young Thug, and dozens more. Coachella takes place next April. Tickets set to go on sale this Friday.
Do you know all those acts?
I do know those acts. I couldn't tell you songs by all those acts.
Okay.
You going, right?
Probably not next year. Probably not.
Maybe more of a 2027.
Stand by, I'll let you know.
All right. Live pictures right now over Uptown. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another check to the forecast and your morning commute coming your way.
Well, good morning, everybody. Who's ready for the Tuesday? Today, high is right around 80 degrees, mainly hanging out in the upper 70s for the afternoon. As you can see, it's a gorgeous start to the day. So I think that we're going to erode a lot of the cloud cover and then it'll move back in to end the day, but still a delightful day. So get outside and enjoy it, feeling great as well. Here's a better look at our futurecast. This is that little area of clearing that I'm talking about. A little bit cloudier the further north that you go, and most of the rain activity should be west of 321. That's a line from Gastonia area up through Hickory. And then heading into the evening, I think that we have more clouds that start to circulate back in action, giving us a chance for on and off light rain showers and some sprinkles to begin Wednesday morning. After that, temperatures on the rise, near 90 degrees on Friday. Majestic, what's going on this morning?
Oh, it is a busy start to our Tuesday morning. Started out quiet, but as you can see, 727, things are definitely picking up and not in the best of ways. I want to take you to I-85 here. Southbound lanes really being impacted here at Edgewood Road because of a vehicle fire at exit 13, backed up at least 1 mile. You can see all the red here. Again, southbound lanes being impacted. You may just want to take Highway 74 instead. And then following this crash here on Brookshire Boulevard and Mount Holly Huntersville Road, we have a handful of additional crashes that I'm going to be detailing out this morning on WCNC Plus.
You are streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30 on this Tuesday morning. We want to give you an update on that breaking news that we are following out of West Charlotte. A live look at Cross Ridge Road, where Charlotte Fire is on the scene of a house fire. We've learned that no one was hurt in this fire. Again, we're trying to get more information about how this fire started. When we do get that information, we will, of course, pass it along to you. Again, Charlotte Fire on the scene there of a house fire, Cross Ridge Road in West Charlotte.
Thanks for starting your morning with us here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson alongside Lisa Washington. And today, county commissioners following up with their vote on a possible new transportation authority. It comes as questions of safety continue to rise.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live in Uptown this morning, and there are hopes this vote could address the safety concerns of a lot of folks. Destiny.
Yeah, Mecklenburg County commissioners will hear directly from neighbors living here in the county about what they think about the creation of this new transportation authority, as they would make big decisions on transportation and transit projects and how those funds are managed throughout the county. Now, this meeting is happening at 6 o'clock tonight. The public will have a chance to weigh in before commissioners vote on creating a new transportation authority, and it's tied to the proposed 1% sales tax increase should it pass in November. If approved, the Metropolitan Public Transportation Authority, or MPTA, would oversee how that revenue is spent. 60% of the sales tax revenue would fund transit projects like buses and light rail, while 40% would go toward roadway improvements across Mecklenburg County. County leaders say they're focused on ensuring the right people are making these important decisions.
We're going to stay within the framework that's been set out in the legislation. That's been agreed to. With that said, it is important for us to make sure that there are active users, those who ride, whether it's bus, light rail, and we want to make sure that they're a part of that authority.
Commissioners say tonight's hearing is the first step in the process, as state law requires the authority to be in place before the tax can take effect. If the board votes yes, Mecklenburg County residents can start applying to serve on the new authority as early as tomorrow. And that meeting again is happening at 6 o'clock tonight here at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center in Uptown. If you would like to speak during that public hearing, all you have to do is sign up online, by email, or by phone. We have more information to do that in this story on the WCNC News app. I'll send it back to you guys live here from Uptown.
And Destiny, the one thing that we've been talking about for months now is this sales tax proposal. Of course, what are the leaders saying about the confidence that this will pass, given what's happened on the light rail with that deadly stabbing?
Yeah, so when we talked to Mark Jarrell, the chair of the Board of Commissioners, we asked him basically about, how does he feel about the sales taxpayers having to contribute to transit projects, given there's, a little bit of not confidence in the public safety of the transit. And right now he's just saying that, safety is a priority for them, but he thinks it's going to be a more comprehensive and a collaborative effort to come up with solutions for this, whether it's, law enforcement, mental health, and the judicial component of it as well. But when it comes to this new transportation authority and the sales tax, he wants people to know that this is something to address growth in the county, and it's something that's going to be an impact that's felt, not now, but 20, 30 years down the line because of how much Mecklenburg County is growing. But obviously, with people serving on the transportation authority that use transit services, with that taken into consideration, obviously they will inform that safety component. But again, he's just saying that this is going to be a more collaborative and comprehensive effort from public officials and elected leaders.
Be part of the riders, the people who use public transit. It's so important to have their voices. All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that.
Meantime, Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden calling on more mental health resources following the death of Irina Zarutska on the light rail.
The sheriff tells us that he and his team are taking several steps to help support people like the suspect in this case.
We are a facility of detention. The Carlos Brown, like many others, needs psychiatric treatment. We are not a psychiatric hospital, but we hold maybe 100 plus of these individuals like him inside our facility. And so as unique as he may be at this moment, he's not unique to us because we deal with this each and every single day. We love the way it is being highlighted now, but what do we do in the future? This is good, but does the people in Raleigh hear us? No. Does the people living in Charlotte hear us? No. We house these people like him each and every day. Here at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center, we created our first mental health pod for men in 2019 with no additional funding. We just created because I saw the need after talking to one of my staff members, but also being a former homicide detective, how many people that I sat across from doing an interview with, or even knowing some of the witnesses that we came across that had mental health challenges. So after that, after 2019, in the middle of COVID, myself and the state of North Carolina came up with what we call the RISE program, and that's Restoring Individually Safety and Effectively. We created that in 2022. In 2025, we created RISE program that we called 5.0. So now the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office now takes in 36 other counties, Sheriff's Office individuals who are incarcerated to bring here for treatment. And so we're glad that this incident brought mental health to the forefront, and everybody is concerned about it, but we want them to be concerned about it even more and place the funding where it needs to be and place the resources where it needs to be.
Now, Sheriff McFadden also talked about the cashless bail issue. We'll have that discussion coming up in our next hour.
All right, let's go ahead and get a check of the forecast. Chris standing by. And Chris, Going to get hotter from here today. Not too bad, though.
Yeah, not too bad. And we also are dealing with a decent amount of sunshine as well. So temperatures right around 80 degrees for our highs today. Yesterday we were at 84. Not too shabby. And as you can see in the bottom right, seeing some beautiful pinks across that's our WCNC tower camera. And then Dallas seeing those beautiful blues. Same thing up in Monroe. And then real quick, I want to get to our dogs today. This is Gia and Vinny, brought to us by Adam and Holly. So good to have you because it's a perfect dog walking forecast. You have that just right forecast. You don't have to worry about that over oppressive heat. Temperatures jumping into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees as early as 1 p.m. And then we pretty much stick there. And then eventually the cloud cover will start to roll back in. Current temperatures 59 degrees. This is yet again another morning starting off in the 50s, just barely. And my stat of the morning was that we've been averaging about 60 degrees or colder for the first half of September. That is one of the coldest on record, at least in the top 10. 80 degrees. That is the top today. Some of us, I think, getting into the lower 80s. And I think you have more clouds that start to develop by the end of the day. This is all associated with that coastal low that's offshore. I'll take a deeper dive in exactly what that's doing and how it's affecting the Carolinas as a whole coming up. But the one thing it's going to do is really west of Hickory, on and off shower throughout the day. Now, I think Charlotte, you're going to open up the skies as we're doing right now for some sunshine. And then all of a sudden, they'll be at 1 hour later in the afternoon. You're like, oh, what happened to the day? It became pretty cloudy on you. So I think that's going to be a good possibility, especially after 4 o'clock. And then you can see an on and off rain shower through the overnight heading into tomorrow morning. Then eventually we're going to see this dissipate heading into your Wednesday late day. And then we'll take a break from our rain chances after that. I did put a 20% chance for rain on Wednesday. That's just for the morning. For the afternoon, you're actually going to stay dry. And then we'll take a break from the rain before you start to see these ramp back up. It's also going to start to feel a lot more humid and summer-like heading into the weekend. The last weekend of fall, y'all, up to about 89, close to 90 degrees. This could be the last time that we're challenging that 9-0 mark for the year. Now, I have been fooled before. We've done it as late as October 13th, so there's still a chance, but it looks like this is going to be one of the last chances at least. We're officially calling it fall by your Monday afternoon. Panthers game is this coming Sunday, 83 degrees for that one. So enjoy a nice little warm up, maybe summer's last surge, but we'll see. See you in just an upward trajectory on the Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Let's get over to Majestic. Let's see how our morning commute's looking.
Let's do it. We do have still a handful of ongoing wrecks for your Tuesday morning commute that you should know about. It's going to slow people down for their morning commute. Live camera look, you can see I-77. It is actually moving. It just looks a little frozen. 59 degrees if you're heading out the door. And again, not a bad start to the day. Our typical backups are already starting to build. Of course, we're at 739 right now, but it's not just that. We're still following this. Now, this has since been cleared. It looks like we're seeing some progress. It was that vehicle fire at exit 13, so starting to see that cleared, not such great impacts like we just saw recently. This one's still ongoing. A crash here at Brookshire Boulevard and Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Seeing mainly green around it, so not significant delays. Just be careful if you're driving that way. And if you're waking up in Plaza Midwood or if you're heading that direction, we have an ongoing crash here at Plaza Road and Hood Road. You can see the orange indicating slow-moving conditions at this time. Another crash is just south of Uptown. It's a crash on Colony Road and Normandy Road, kind of off to the side. Not too concerned about it, but again, just another thing that's adding on to the list of those slowdowns. I-77 here from Fort Mill up towards those inbound lanes. That is where it's really delayed. Those are the major things that I'm watching for now. We'll have another check on those roads coming up here shortly. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks. Approaching 7:41 now and happening today, CMS welcomes its new chief of police for the school district. Chief Jonathan Thomas has served various roles with CMPD, from special operations and emergency management to leading teams in Western North Carolina during Hurricane Helene relief efforts. That swearing-in ceremony begins this afternoon at 1 at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center.
Also happening today, Gastonia Police, they're hosting a coffee with a cop. They're giving the community a chance to ask questions, voice concerns, get to know their local law enforcement. It all starts this morning at 9 a.m. at the Target over on Cox Road.
Well, coming up, we're going to have the latest on a proposed data center that's getting some pushback in Statesville.
7:44 right now on WCNC Plus. An update out of Statesville. Overnight, the City Council voted to approve a rezoning request for what is a massive data center on Stamey Farm Road.
Now, before this, dozens of neighbors voiced their concerns, acknowledging how those changes could impact their rural community. However, the developers tried to address those concerns. Take a listen.
We take great care to tend to the safety of our operations and our personnel and the communities that surround our campus. So please know that we don't take safety lightly by any stretch. We care deeply for our communities and our employees at the site.
Right now, there's no timeline on when construction could start.
Well, it is time for us to connect the dots. That's when we make the news make sense. Fast food chains used to dominate the breakfast rush, but a new player is cutting into their morning profits. More people are choosing to grab their morning meal at convenience stores instead of heading to the big chains. Let's connect the dots. Convenience stores like Buc-ee's and Wawa are offering better food options, coffee, and value. Fast food chains like McDonald's and Wendy's are seeing their breakfast traffic and sales slow down. Consumers under pressure from inflation and tight budgets are cutting costs, often simplifying or skipping breakfast altogether. Convenience stores are stepping in, expanding food variety, improving quality, and prioritizing fresh items or made-to-go breakfast sandwiches. They also compete on price. Often similar breakfast items cost less at convenience stores. Bottom line, fast food chains are losing their breakfast edge. Convenience stores are winning by being cheaper, faster, and more convenient. And that's connecting the dots. Well, looking ahead, we now know when crews are going to break ground on Charlotte's first Wegmans. Construction is set to start on the popular supermarket 1 week from tomorrow. It's going to be on North Community House Road in Valentine. Now, the store will be open by next summer. The Charlotte location will be the 5th in the state. Have you ever been to Wegmans?
I have never been. You have?
I have. It's great. I think people will enjoy. I mean, I'm not here to promote it or anything, but it's a really nice.
I mean, people talk about it like it's life-changing.
It is nice. It's good. You can like sit in there and have your lunch, and yeah.
All right. Well, coming up, how to save on some big travel plans before the holiday season kicks off.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on WCNC Plus. Always a pleasure. I want to talk a little bit more about what's happening across the Carolinas. So as we look to the east, that is where we're seeing most of the activity. It's really going to be this area right here around Norfolk that's going to receive most of the rain. This is all because of a coastal low that's going to be affecting the mid-Atlantic states. That's where I think that we're going to have some of the biggest issues over the next 24 hours or so. But meanwhile, there's barely anything rain really over around the Charlotte area. It's really the western side of the Carolinas. But then there's the bullseye. That's where you expect most of the activity, and that's also why, coincidentally, you have a flood watch goes through tonight for that area. And there's already a few of those aerial flood advisories that are already active here. That's what that little polygon is right here around Norfolk, like right about there, just showing that, hey, a lot of the local streams and creeks could be going underwater and rising pretty quickly, but no flash flood warnings at this point. Just kind of an inconvenient nuisance rain for the time being. Our water vapor imagery showing that all the moisture is really further off towards the east as well. Whenever you start to see these yellows, that represents a decent amount of dry air, so that's going to inhibit a lot of that rain. Also, today is going to be on and off breezy, but for the most part, just a moderate breeze up to about 18 miles per hour, straight gust over 20 miles per hour from time to time. And like the rain, most of the activity is well to the northeast of us. So today, high right around 80 degrees. It's staying dry for the most part. I think we'll have an ample amount of sunshine really now until the early afternoon. And then there'll be at one point in the afternoon, I think it's going to cloud up on you. And then heading into the evening, I think it could turn into a mostly cloudy sky. Still really pleasant though if you're going to the Knights game tonight. The reason why I'm enforcing this is they actually, last time the Knights are going to have a homestand. So if you wanted to go to a game this year, this is your last chance really now through Saturday. Saturday is actually going to be a doubleheader. Here's a look at our future cast showing that dry atmosphere, at least around the Charlotte area throughout today. There's the slightest chance for maybe a sprinkle or a light rain shower heading into the evening and the overnight. And then by tomorrow afternoon, I think rain is in the rear view mirror, and then we're also getting rid of that cloud cover as well. Slightest chance for maybe a lingering shower heading into your Wednesday evening, but most of us stay dry. So that isolated that I have here, I think is mainly going to be coupled with your chance for rain, I would say, for the Wednesday morning time frame. Then after that, pretty much you're trending dry. What about our temperatures, though? They're all over the place. 80 degrees today, and then you can see we're zooming up close to 90 degrees. Could be one of the last shots at 90 degrees for the season before we're leveling out in the lower to the mid 80s heading into day 25 of September. And that'll also get us into the fall season officially. And as far as our lows are concerned, this is also going to be the bottom as well. We dropped down to 59 degrees this morning, lower to the mid 60s over the next 10. There it is. And here is your morning traffic report with Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. Want to give you another update on what I'm looking at. We'll start with this. We do have some slow moving traffic along I-77, especially. You can see it right here in this corner as people are heading more inbound. No accidents, just more people all heading in the same direction right there. That's mile marker 88 approaching mile marker 90 out towards Carowinds, but you can still see most of us not having any major problems. A handful of wrecks, though, to let you know about. We'll talk about this one first because it is bringing some impacts. As a crash on I-85 southbound at exit 40, that's Graham Street. Notice those delays. They're backed up at least 1 mile right now. Again, you can get past it. It's just slowing people down for their morning commute. I-85 south. Once we head to the north, a crash here on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave. Again, seeing more of that yellow, mainly orange, meaning that there are just slow-moving conditions at this current time. A crash here on Brookshire Boulevard. This one has not been cleared yet. Once you head out towards Mount Holly Huntersville Road, mainly green around it. I'll continue to monitor everything for you, but those are some big things that I'm watching for now. Guys.
Majestic, thanks. If you are thinking about a fall getaway, now might be the perfect time to book. Airlines and hotels are offering deep discounts this season.
Jen Sullivan shows you how you can save big.
Do you have the end of summer blues and want to get away? Now is the perfect time to book a trip.
Travel's all about supply and demand.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, says now through mid-November, airlines and hotels start slashing prices.
Destinations are less crowded. Kids are back in school, and it's what we call the shoulder season.
Many places in Europe offer major discounts on hotels during the fall.
You can still see spectacular weather throughout the fall in places like Europe.
If you want to travel to see some beautiful fall colors, Whistler, Canada is a great option. Your dollar will go further in Canada. The exchange rate as of Monday is $1.38 for every U.S. dollar. Many cruises have great deals this time of year. Royal Caribbean Cruises offers big savings for any cruise booked now through October 2nd. A second guest is 60% off with a full paying guest.
It is hurricane season during the fall, so you have to remember through the Caribbean and Mexico that this could be potentially a threat to your vacation experience.
Looking to travel somewhere warm domestically? San Diego offers great discounts for families in October. The entire month, kids under 11 get in for free at major attractions like the San Diego Zoo. That saves $66 per child over the age of 3 right there. SeaWorld and many other museums also have free admissions for kids in October. If you're looking to really save, Kaufman says the cheapest time to travel is the week of November 17th. That's the week before Thanksgiving. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to have another update of weather and traffic, and then the day's top headlines at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Well, hello there, everybody. How is your day so far? Hopefully fantastic. Today's going to be a decent one. Right around 80 degrees, a little bit cooler than we have been over the last couple of days. But hey, a nice mix of cloud and sunshine. I just think we have more clouds to end the day as we have a nearby system that's going to be filtering some activity in. Here's what it looks like. We'll have a break from any rain pretty much for the Charlotte area for today. The only rain that we really see is going to be well off towards the west, especially between Asheville and around Banner Elk. And then we'll see on and off showers potentially through this evening and the overnight. Most likely Charlotte barely sees anything to only a mere trace. And then we start to clear things out by tomorrow. Tomorrow, one of the last Ghost Pepper games. That's going to be at 12:30. However, it does look like they're going to make the playoffs. So you'll likely still have a chance to see them again. And for our 7-day forecast, this is the bottom and Friday's the top. That's where you're back to around 90 degrees. Officially calling it fall, y'all, come Monday. Majestic, what do we need to know about your morning commute?
Good morning, everyone. Let's get to it. We are off to a busy start to the day. It is 7:57. This is I-85 there at Graham Street as people are starting their morning commute. We have our typical delays, but we also have a handful of ongoing wrecks. This one here may slow you down if you take I-85. Those southbound lanes being impacted as there's a crash there at exit 40. That is Graham Street. You can still get around it. It's not completely blocked. Just might add on a few extra minutes to that morning commute. And then this crash here on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave is slowing you down as well. Take it easy.
Streaming live right now at 8 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
Right now, we're working to learn more about a double shooting that left one person dead in East Charlotte. It happened early this morning on Albemarle Road.
And that's where we find WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane this morning. He's been at that scene all morning. What's the latest, Richard? We know this is a pretty busy area.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Anybody who drives up and down Albemarle Road has been by this location. This is right near the Dollar Tree Plaza, where there's a Dollar Tree, a Chase Bank, across the street from a Wells Fargo. And right where we're standing is actually an Exxon gas station that a lot of people know, right near Redmond Road. You can see the scene is clear. There are no longer any police officers here, but that wasn't the case earlier this morning. As we take a look at video, this was the scene this morning. Officers said they got a shots fired call right here off the 5600 block of Albemarle. This is in East Charlotte. When they arrived, they found two people, both suffering gunshot wounds. Medic rushed both of them to the hospital. Unfortunately, that man, a man and a woman, were shot. The man died of his injuries. The woman, life-threatening injuries. Police scouring the area looking for evidence. They told us very early on that this was an incident where there was a suspect out there. They did not know who that suspect was. They didn't have a motive, or at least they did not release a motive for the shooting, nor did they tell us the victims' names. They say that this area right here where they are is a place that is a lot of Charlotte's unhoused individuals, a lot of folks who may be living in shelters or something like that. And they say that's making it a little bit even more tougher for them to determine exactly everything that happened. So they want to speak to that lady, of course, if and when she recovers. They also are asking for the public's help, saying that if anyone knows anything about what happened this morning, it was right before 2 o'clock this morning, right here off of Albemarle Road. If they have any information, please give police a call. We're right here in East Charlotte. It's Richard Devane. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Richard Devane, thank you for that, Richard.
All right, turning back to your forecast right now, here's Chris.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ben. Well, I want to show you an update from the National Hurricane Center. So it's at 8 o'clock that they officially came down. That it's not much of a change from what I've been showing you earlier, but it's now a 90% chance for a possibility over the next 2 days that this becomes at least a tropical depression. I think the way this is really shaping up, that we're talking about Tropical Storm Gabrielle, really a nice organized wave that is happening here that will slowly push its way off towards the west-northwest, eventually turning northwest, and things are trending that it is going to be pushing back out to sea. But likely, we're going to finally start to get our tropics back in order. It looks like it's really been a nice little lull that we've seen so far. Gabrielle, Umberto, and Imelda are the next names on the hurricane list. Let's get to our 10-10-10 forecast. So today is the bottom, 80 degrees. That means it's really going to be either side of 80 degrees across the area. It depends. Some areas are going to have more clouds earlier, and I think all of us will have a cloudier evening as that low that's just east of us is going to filter a few more clouds back in. Give us the slightest rain chance as well. Better chances the further west that you go. And then look at those temperatures, straight line up to around 90 degrees. Could be one of the last challenges up to that 90 mark, and then lower to the mid 80s to complete the weekend heading into next week. What about our lows? Well, this morning we dropped down to 59 degrees, and it's all in all going to be the lower to the mid 60s, which coincidentally is where we should have been over the last 15 days. But the first and the very beginning days of September were actually in the record territory, but not for something that you would think. It actually was one of the cooler starts that we've had for our low temperatures in Charlotte history, and that dates back 147 years. So 60 degrees has been our average low over the last 15 days, or just over 2 weeks. That's the 8th coldest in Charlotte history. So yeah, it's been definitely on the chillier side, and dropping down to 59 degrees is just following suit, kind of fitting into that mold. After today, our rainfall chance is taking a big old break. I think you might have a chance for an isolated rain shower tomorrow, but other than that, we're staying dry, and we'll be dry through your Saturday with another isolated, even a thunderstorm chance on Sunday and a Monday. But really nothing major as far as all those rain chances are concerned. Really, I think the biggest story is how we're flipping that summer switch and keeping it on at least for a short little period. About Friday to Saturday could be summer's last hurrah, but we know how these things go. Heading into the first day of fall, which officially is Monday, temperatures pretty much right where they should be. That's your weather report. Now it's time for traffic with Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. Let's take a live camera look. This is I-85 at Sugar Creek right here. Lots of people up and at 'em starting their day here. Traffic moving a little slower, not because of a big accident right there. A lot of people heading in the same direction. We do have our fair share of ongoing wrecks and our typical slowdowns. Again, this is I-85 here. I want to talk about some of our drive times because they're not looking the best. 45 minutes if you're coming in from Matthews, almost an hour if you're coming in from Gastonia. And again, we have those typical delays on I-77, I-85, but also a lot of crashes this morning. This one here, it's on I-85, southbound lanes being a little bit impacted by this. This is at exit 40, so actually on Graham Street. It's not blocked. You can still get past it. It might just slow you down a few minutes. Otherwise, as we're moving to the north now on I-77, there's a crash on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave, so right near I-77, just off to the east of it. I'm continuing to watch out one carefully for you. Look at Independence. This is always kind of a nightmare traveling on Independence inbound this time of the day, and not helpful when you have a stalled vehicle. There's currently a stalled vehicle on Independence and Sharon Amity Road, so the cars in the middle of the road, they have not cleared it off to the side yet. And then this one also still not quite cleared. It's on Brookshire Boulevard at Mount Holly Huntersville Road, seeing still some yellow with it, meaning that there are some medium impacts. Those are the biggest things for now. We'll have another check on those area roadways coming up here shortly. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks. 8:06 now. An update this morning on potential school threats in Watauga County. We first told you about this yesterday morning. The sheriff's office now telling us the incident at Watauga High appears to be a hoax that originated on Snapchat. Yesterday, the district issued a statement saying it's grateful for parents and students' patience and vigilance, adding that the threat adds fear and it's not acceptable. The sheriff's office also tells us additional officers will be at Watauga County schools for the rest of the week. Coming up, we're going to clear up the confusion on flying flags at half-staff following the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're back on WCNC Plus in just 2 minutes.
.09 right now on WCNC Plus. President Trump sending a federal task force to Memphis. The president making the announcement in the Oval Office surrounded by members of his cabinet as well as Tennessee's governor. He says the effort, similar to the one that happened in D.C., is a step toward deploying the National Guard and other law enforcement agencies to crack down on crime in Memphis.
This team will deploy the full powers of federal law enforcement agencies and enforcement generally to restore public safety and get dangerous career criminals off of our streets. We're going to get them off.
He also suggested Chicago could be next.
Today, we expect charges to be filed against the man suspected in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As those charges are filed, memorials across the country continue, as well as the fallout and finger-pointing over political violence. NBC's Bofta Imam has the latest from Washington.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face several charges, including aggravated murder in connection with the attack on conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. According to the Washington Post, Robinson appears to have confessed in an online chat not long before turning himself in, writing, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The Post citing two people familiar with the chat and screenshots. Another possible sign that may be part of the evidence, a text message exchange, says FBI Director Kash Patel.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on two pieces of evidence. While authorities haven't confirmed a motive, the president blames the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying, including measures to use the federal government to crack down on what the administration called vast domestic terrorist networks.
We are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Back in Utah, classes resume on campus as the suspect remains on special watch status, meaning closer supervision. Now, authorities say Robinson will stay on special watch status until passing a mental health evaluation. Meanwhile, plans for a massive memorial service are underway for this Sunday in Kirk's home state of Arizona. The service is expected to draw thousands at State Farm Stadium, including President Trump. In Washington, Bofta Imam, NBC News.
Well, with recent tragedies across the country, some viewers wondering about when U.S. flags can be lowered and also why.
WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies what to know when it comes to flags flying half-staff.
After President Trump announced he was lowering flags for Charlie Kirk, our verified team got a question from Ricky T asking, can a president order the flags to lower for anyone? So let's verify the rules.
Our sources to answer this are the U.S. General Service Administration, U.S. Congress, and the U.S. Code. According to the GSA, flags are flown at half-staff when the country or state is in mourning after national tragedies, for days of remembrance, or in the immediate deaths of government or military members. The U.S. Code outlines rules for top political officials. It also allows the president to issue flags to be flown at half-staff for the death of other current or former officials. Congress says while the flag code is written in the U.S. Code, it is considered a guideline with little enforcement. When it comes to non-government officials, the flag code states the president can alter any rule concerning the display of the flag by proclamation. On September 10th, President Donald Trump issued a proclamation for Kirk, ordering flags to be flown at half-staff until sunset on the 14th. So we can verify that, yes, a president can order the flag to be lowered for anyone. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
If you have something you would like verified, email us at verify@wcnc.com.
All right, let's go to live pictures right now. This is in New York City, just outside the courthouse there in Manhattan, where we are expecting Luigi Mangione to appear this morning. He, of course, accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO back several months ago in what's become just a notorious case. You can see quite the police presence outside that courthouse as this story has attracted the attention of millions of people around the world. Again, he's expected to appear in court this morning.
And if we get more live pictures, of course, we'll bring that to you. We know his attorneys are expected to argue that the trial cannot proceed while the death sentence matter remains up in the air. This, of course, is now a federal case.
Coming up, another check of your weather impact forecast and your morning commute. Next week marks 1 year since Hurricane Helene devastated western North Carolina. Governor Stein asking Congress for $13.5 billion in recovery funding.
Now, this comes just a week after our Where's the Money investigation found that North Carolina has only received a fraction of the money that leaders previously requested. If approved, the money would help homeowners rebuild, small businesses recover, and reimburse local governments for work that's been completed. The governor says that he is grateful for the money the state's already received, but that it's still not enough.
The people of Western North Carolina are not asking for a handout. They're asking for a hand up to get back on their feet. 1 year after this terrible tragedy, it is time for our federal government to meet the needs of the people of Western North Carolina.
For now, the state has pitched in to help, approving nearly $3 billion for Helene recovery efforts. Governor Stein says he is heading to Washington later this week to continue pushing for federal help.
Speaking of Helene recovery, nearly $25 million came from one event here in Charlotte, the Concert for the Carolinas.
So where did that money end up? WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay tracked the dollars to find out where's the money.
Hanging on these racks, Brian Hall sees more than just winter coats.
Prom dress, express.
For many, they're everyday things, but to families recovering from a life-altering storm, they're everything.
At least I don't have to worry about school supplies because I need to pay the rent, I need to make sure we have food.
Hall is the executive director of Evelyn Charities, one of 5 organizations who received funding from Concert for the Carolinas. Their $3 million share helped them expand relief efforts into the hardest hit communities, like down the road in Mills River.
Millions of pounds of food was completely lost.
Micah Chrisman from Manna Food Bank remembers the damage well. The storm completely overtaking their old facility right next to the Swannanoa River. They were already planning to move buildings, but the $3 million they received helped replace everything inside.
Trash cans to forklifts to pallet jacks.
And just in time.
In June alone, we had our highest record of people visiting our pantries than we've ever seen in our 42-year history.
While Hall and Chrisman are grateful for the concert funds, it can't stop here.
The concert money came in, the concert money goes out.
Both operations now hanging on everyday generosity.
A miracle and a nightmare kind of situation.
So they can bring their communities small but meaningful moments of normalcy.
Turns into a Christmas wonderland.
In Asheville, Julie Kay, WCNC Charlotte.
Well, thanks a lot, Julie. Really appreciate it. So let's get right to it. We are looking at some pretty decent forecasts going forward. The Knights are, by the way, back in town today and tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a great game because it's the last Bark in the ballpark. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, I highly recommend it. If you have a well-behaved dog, it always helps. Like a Mr. Scout who was there earlier this year. We had 90% chance for development for this tropical wave. Since we were talking about Helene, 'tis the season that we usually really start ramping things up. Well, this is going to be our first tropical system in over a couple of weeks, almost going on 3 weeks now. And this is a pretty big spatial area being covered here. I think this turns into a solid hurricane, but I think likely becoming Tropical Storm Gabrielle here over the next 24 hours or so. With that 90% chance over the next 2 days, really looks like it's going to be close. After that, you have Umberto. Chance of that little wave that's now moving off of Africa in that area of yellow could be happening over the next 7 days. We're also watching any waves that are happening around the Gulf as well. This is also an invest. That means an investigation by the National Hurricane Center. So Invest 92L will soon be called Gabrielle, and there is a solid consensus of where this is going, pretty much due off towards the northwest. That's great news. So it's in the upper part of this red cone. That means eventually it's going to aim right at Bermuda before turning back out. Now, there's always a chance that it actually takes more of the southern lines, but more than likely, this is going to turn into a fish storm. That's exactly what we want. This one right here, even though we don't have an invest or any spaghetti plots to go along with it, since it's trending a little bit further south, typically by tropical climatology, this will likely move due west or west-northwest. Those are the ones that we really have to watch, but usually takes over 14 days for it to really be a threat to the United States. So we were ahead of schedule earlier in the season, but just like last year, we fell behind. But now we're even more behind. September 16th is the average date for storm number 9, or the I name on the hurricane alphabet. That should bring us up to Imelda. Well, it was pretty quick that we caught up storms going Helene and Isaac, Joyce, all within a 3-day time span. Gordon was September 11th, so we're even behind last year's lull that we went into, but I really think that we're going to quickly catch up all of these names likely in the next 3 weeks, even though we don't have a lot going on right now. That's typically where we're trending. Now back home for our forecast, not a lot to mention. We do have a slight chance for a little bit of rain. This is a coastal low. It's those coastal lows that if this had the right conditions, stayed out in the Atlantic a little bit longer, the rain that we're seeing off towards the east actually could have been a named storm. Not quite yet, but it is the season that we could have an on and off pattern like that. Slight chance for rain tonight, heading into tomorrow after that nice little dry trend. And could this be the last time we're challenging 90 degrees? We'll see. I think 2019 really taught me a big lesson. I remember I said, oh yeah, this should be the last time. No, then we hit 98 degrees, 99, I think 6 days in a row to end September into October. So I will say this will be at least one of the last times challenging 90 degrees, because we know how September likes to behave. September 22nd, by the way, officially is the first day of fall. That's 2:09 in the afternoon. And the first Panthers home game. Slight chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but right now likely trending dry. There's the next 7 days. Let's get to the right now with our morning commute. Majestic, how's it looking?
It's busy out there. This is I-85 here. You can see cars are moving a little better now compared to what I showed you not too long ago, but we do have a lot of backup still continuing to build. Here's some of our drive times. If you're coming in from Matthews, let me just tell you, Independence is not looking great. You may just want to take Monroe. 45 minutes to get you into Charlotte, about an hour from Gastonia, and over an hour, 75 minutes if you're coming in from Salisbury. You can see my map. It's very, very, very active this morning. We have our typical backups on I-77, but I still want to talk about this because it's not quite cleared yet. It's a crash on I-85 southbound, exit 40. That's Graham Street there. And then to the north, this one's still ongoing as well. It's not on I-77. It's just to the east of it. It's on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave, seeing a lot of orange indicating that cars are moving rather slowly. All right, now this is Independence. Look at all of this red. First, starting with a stalled vehicle. It's on Independence and exit 247 Sharon Amity Road. But once you head to the north, we have another crash still on Independence, so it's 2 slowdowns. This one has 1 lane blocked because of a crash. It's on Independence and exit 244. That's Television Place. So again, a lot going on. We'll have another check on those roads coming up here shortly.
Hi, the story sprinkled. Time for our Tuesday Tailwagger, along with their friends at Animal Care and Control. A big thank you to everyone who adopted the cats and kittens over the upcoming this past weekend. Let's talk about today's Tailwagger. This is Kalili. Kalili is about 8 years old. You'd never know it. Just a sweet dog, happy dog. Weighs about 55 pounds. She's in foster care right now. Is house trained, knows some commands, loves to be in the little kiddie pool. Just a great dog. Probably better if she's the only dog in the household. She's available today. Her name is Kalili at Animal Care and Control. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5. You can log on to animalcareclt.org for all of the information. One more time, let's check her out. What a sweet dog. Her name is Kalili. She's about 8 years old, weighs about 55 pounds. She's available today, and Kalili is our very special Tuesday Tailwagger.
All right, Larry, thanks. 8:25 right now as we take live pictures over uptown Charlotte. Another check of your forecast and your morning commute coming your way right here, streaming on WCNC+.
Good morning, good morning. 60 degrees is our new temperature for the 8 o'clock hour. We were down to 59, 63 around Statesville, 54 in Boone. And wherever you look, it's a gorgeous start to the day. At times you will see more clouds than blue sky, and at other times it'll be the opposite. But I really think it's by the end of the afternoon we see a lot more cloud cover. Now, of course, if you're watching from Morganton up in the foothills and right around the mountains, you're dealing with more clouds here, and you also have a better chance for rain on and off throughout the day. Charlotte, I think you're likely staying dry besides a passing shower later on tonight, heading into tomorrow morning. After that, we are on the way up, close to 90 degrees on Friday, and we're starting to feel more humid heading into the weekend as well. Temperatures start to trend a little bit further down, close to where we should be for the Panthers home opener on Sunday. Slight chance for a pop-up shower storm that day as well. And the first day of fall, y'all, 84 degrees on Monday, officially calling it fall or the autumnal equinox at 2:09. Majestic, take it away.
Let's get to it. If you're heading out the door anytime soon, take a look at these drive times. Make sure you plan accordingly. 78 minutes right now if you're coming in from Salisbury, about 45 out towards Matthews, and right under an hour in Gastonia. A handful of accidents. We're following all of this morning on WCNC Plus, but I need to let you know there is a crash on I-85 impacting southbound lanes at Graham Street. Keep this one in mind. Then to the south, or actually to the north, we're following this crash on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave. Independence, we have a stalled vehicle and a crash. I'm going to be giving you the very latest coming up on WCNC Plus. We'll see you there soon. Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Breaking news at this hour, Hollywood icon Robert Redford has died. Big screen actor, also turned Oscar-winning director. The New York Times reporting he died this morning at his home in Utah. He's best known for his roles in classic films such as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting and All the President's Men, also Out of Africa. Redford was 89 years old. Well, today, Mecklenburg County Commissioners are following up with their vote on a possible new transportation authority. It comes as questions of safety continue to rise.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning in Uptown, and there are hopes this vote could address the safety concerns for a lot of folks. Destiny.
Yeah, tonight neighbors will get the chance to speak with county commissioners about the creation of this transportation authority, what they think about it, especially because the people who serve on it will be making big decisions about transportation and transit projects and how the money for them is managed throughout the county. Now, this meeting is happening at 6 p.m. tonight, and the public will have the chance to weigh in before commissioners vote on creating the Transportation Authority tied to the proposed 1% sales tax increase should it pass in November. If approved, the Metropolitan Public Transportation Authority, or MPTA, would oversee how that revenue is spent. 60% of the sales tax revenue would fund transit projects like buses and light rail, while 40% would go toward roadway improvements across Mecklenburg County. County leaders say they're focused on ensuring the right people are making these important decisions.
We're going to stay within the framework that's been set out in the legislation. That's been agreed to. With that said, it is important for us to make sure that there are active users, those who ride, whether it's bus, light rail, and we want to make sure that they're a part of that authority.
Commissioners say tonight's hearing is the first step in the process, as state law requires the authority to be in place before the tax can take effect. If the board votes yes, Mecklenburg County residents can start applying to serve on the new authority as early as tomorrow. Now, this vote is happening tonight at 6. The public hearing and the vote is happening starting tonight at 6 here at the Government Center in Uptown. For those wanting to speak during the public hearing, you can sign up to do so online. We have more information about how to do that, as well as the legislative requirements for serving on this authority. That's all in this story on the WCNC News app. I'll send it back to you guys live here from Uptown.
Yeah, Destiny, there are some parameters about who gets to be on this authority and who decides that. What are those?
Yeah, there's a lot that's laid out in the PAVE Act about, there needs to be a Metropolitan Public Transportation Authority, but then there's specific requirements about who can serve on it, and it needs to be a 27 Board of Trustees that's serving on this authority. Now, according to the legislation, it says 6 members need to be appointed by the county itself, so Mecklenburg County, 12 members appointed by the city of Charlotte, so the largest municipality in the county, then 1 member appointed for each other municipality, the 2nd through 7th largest in Mecklenburg County, and then 3 members appointed by the state. That is 2 by the General Assembly and 1 by the governor. So that all adds up to 27. And then there are a lot of other requirements. They have to serve 4 terms. But this is also very interesting. They have to live in Mecklenburg County, but also have experience in areas such as law, finance, engineering, public transportation, urban planning, or economic development. They cannot be elected officials, lobbyists, and they cannot be related to someone who is one. So lots of language in there about who can serve on this, and it all serves to inform the type of decisions they're going to be making, right? Very big decisions on what this money is going towards. That also leads into safety, of course, when it comes to transportation and transit. So having a wide variety of people appointed by all of these all the cities and towns that are in the county, as well as from the state level, all very important. And again, folks can start applying. If they meet those requirements, they can start applying tomorrow.
All right, all sorts of parameters there.
Certainly.
There's a lot of them. All right.
Thanks, Destiny.
Well, today's vote comes as State Representative Laura Budd speaks out on last month's deadly stabbing on the light rail. Budd says safety concerns on transit tie into a bigger problem. That's a rise in violence and in political division. Now she's calling for more police officers across the state, stronger mental health support, and more authority for judges and magistrates when they see signs of a crisis.
This single change alone would have enabled the magistrate who had DeCarlos Brown in front of her on that fateful day in January this year to, on her own, initiate commitment proceedings when confronted with the obvious mental illness that DeCarlos Brown displayed in front of her.
Budd has also called for funding for crisis responders to work alongside officers on mental health calls, saying safety cannot be achieved by arrests alone. Meanwhile, Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden calling on more mental health resources following the death of Irina Zarutska.
The sheriff tells us that he and his team are taking several steps to help support people like the suspect in this case. He also addressed all the backlash against what some are calling cashless bail, which North Carolina does not have.
The root of the issue does not start with cash bond. The root of the issue is his mindset. So we want to blame cashless bonds or even the bonds or anything else. We're talking about an individual that hears voices, an individual that we're talking about individuals that are possibly unstable. So when we do cash bonds, that's somebody else's. We don't make the law. We just follow the law. So the people in Raleigh need to look at that and who makes these laws. We're simply talking about people's mindset. Whether it's cashless bond, no bond, or their release, does that help change a person's mindset? No, it doesn't. And that's what we want to dance around all the issues. Mental health is it. People who are deemed an issue with mental health are in a Mecklenburg County Detention Center, has the right to be released after they meet all the criteria. But what do we do when they are released? What do we do? We're not focused on what people do. We can point to all these innuendos about cash bonds and the court system and all of that. But what do we do when we clearly see all the people on the street that has these problems? What do we do about them? It only becomes a bigger issue when it taps into the criminal justice system. There are individuals on the seat that we drive by each and every day that we see that need help and treatment. Why aren't we targeting them before they come to court and before we talk about cash bonds and how they're released?
And the sheriff goes on to say out of the approximately 1,500 people in custody at the detention center, at least 100 need behavioral and mental health assistance. Now, while we have chosen not to show the full video from last month's deadly light rail stabbing, it has been widely spread on social media. And with kids scrolling online all the time and possibly seeing these videos, WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg shows us the everyday impact violent videos can have on your child's mental health.
If your child has social media, it may be hard to block them from disturbing videos. The American Academy of Pediatrics says by the time children reach middle school, they may have watched 8,000 murders and 100,000 other acts of violence on social media. So we are looking at the best way to talk to your children about these videos and how to help get rid of these visuals.
When we're seeing violence on social media, it in itself is traumatizing. And often on social media, things are not blocked out. And so you're seeing the entire thing, which is not something that most of us are used to.
Dr. Shavana Childs, a psychologist at the Cleveland Clinic, says these images can be hard to get out of your child's head. The best thing to do, take a break from social media and change your scenery. Take a walk, get some fresh air, or listen to happy music or a TV show. Also, make sure to talk to your children. Ask them what they heard or saw, and ask if they have any questions or concerns about what happened. There are also ways to filter what videos your child can watch on some of these apps. How can you know if your child may not be coping well? The American Academy of Pediatrics says look out for sleep issues, headaches, changes in behavior, or emotional problems. According to AAP, children can also do a good job hiding their distress, so it's best to start discussions early and keep the dialogue going. Megan Bragg, WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Megan. Let's get right to your forecast. It's absolutely gorgeous right now. Now, we are going to cloud things up a little bit more later on today, but hey, this is not a bad beginning to the day. Monroe, you're doing it up to 63 degrees, 60 on the nose for you in Charlotte, and even 54 because of that cloud cover. Really kept things nice and dandy over in Boone. You even see one tree, these nice little orange leaves already. And we have the first half of September already in the books. Today is the 16th. So through the first 15 days of September, we've averaged 60 degrees for our lows. That's actually the 8th coolest set of lows that we've had for the first half of September. Over 147 years of record keeping in Charlotte. So yeah, we've been definitely feeling the difference. And into the lower 60s we go for our lows tomorrow morning. And then after that, lower to the mid 60s. This is actually where we probably should have been through most of the month of September. 63 is now the new average low. Now, well, we're finally getting our act together to wind down the last days of summer officially. 80 today is actually going to be one of the cooler highs that we have going forward, with I think increasing clouds throughout the afternoon, even turning mostly cloudy to overcast at times for the last hours of the day. It's all because of this big bad system. This low pressure system is really going to be a big hindrance for the shorelines of Virginia over to the Outer Banks, but we are seeing a lot of clouds that are filtering in behind this. So most of the activity is northeast of us. That's where most of the moisture is as well. We have a lot of dry air that's preventing rain for the near term, but there's still going to be a chance for rain, especially later on overnight heading into tomorrow. So here's what it looks like. I think we're dry throughout the day across the Charlotte area. Rain really west of Morganton, and once you get to about, I would say, 8 o'clock to midnight, you're seeing a chance for a few sprinkles around Charlotte, but even heading into tomorrow, things look like they're going to be winding down as well. And as I mentioned, high temperatures around 80 degrees today. Check out where we're going by the end of the week. We have a high of 80 to 89, so about a 10-degree temperature swing. Could this be another 90-degree day or the last time challenging it? Well, we'll see overall. And for the Panthers game, A-OK, 83 degrees. Feeling great, just as we should be. And for the first day of fall, well, pretty similar as well. Each day has a chance for an isolated storm chance. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, perfectly dry and certainly feeling it hot and humid heading into the last weekend of summer. Let's get right over to Majestic. How's the morning commute been?
It has been really, really busy. It started out great, but now as we're heading into still almost 9 o'clock now, we are looking at those drive times that are really not looking good whatsoever. If you're coming in from Salisbury, it's going to take you 70 minutes, 50 minutes if you're coming in from Gastonia. So if that doesn't tell you enough, I mean, look at our map right here. We have tons of accidents that are currently ongoing. Want to break down a few still following this one. They are currently clearing it. We had a lot of red, now starting to see more green. That's good news, but that's out towards Graham Street, exit 40. To the north, still following this ongoing problem as well. It's not actually on I-77. It's on Statesville Road near Catawba Ave, where there is an additional crash there. Want to take you out to Independence because this is going to be a headache. If you're taking Independence inbound, you might as well just take Monroe inbound instead. We have a stalled vehicle on Independence Boulevard at exit 247, that's Sharon Amity Road. But then to the north of it, we have an additional crash, again still on Independence, where a lane has continued to be blocked because of the crash. Independence westbound after exit 244, that's Television Place. So it's going to take you quite some time if you're taking Independence, say from Matthews, and you're trying to get up to Charlotte. And then this still not cleared, but still mainly green around it. Just want to let you know about this one. Berkshire Boulevard at Mount Holly Huntersville Road, there is currently a crash. Just take it easy if you're heading that direction. Guys.
Majestic things. Well, coming up, from music to mayhem, the chaos that fans endured after a concert at PNC Pavilion.
you are streaming live right now at 8:45 right here on WCNC+. What started off as a fun night filled with music ended with police investigating dozens of car break-ins at PNC Music Pavilion Sunday night. WCNC Charlotte's Trisha Woodard shares the chaos folks had to face when that music stopped.
Music faded and the lights dimmed after the Nelly concert here at the PNC Music Pavilion. But in the parking lot,
found my window smashed out.
There was a different story. The sound of broken glass and shouts of disbelief. A worker who wishes to remain anonymous was just one of the voices. He says now he's out of hundreds of dollars.
It's a little over $600. You know, I work here because I love the music. The money's secondary to me, but it is aggravating when you come out and there's been that much damage done to your vehicle.
Curry Smith was also a victim. He drove in from Winston-Salem for the show.
We started looking around some more and we started seeing more windows laying on the ground. And then that's when we knew that it was somebody had got us.
We've reviewed more than 20 incident reports from CMPD, but victims believe the real number is much higher. Some people simply swept the glass off their seats and drove away, choosing not to wait in chaos.
We saw 2 cars that had that pulled off while we were sitting there looking around. And then we were like, well, I mean, I was thinking just doing the same thing.
Reports show stolen IDs, wallets, and weapons, while in some cases, nothing was missing, just damage.
No, nothing was stolen at all.
Some victims now questioning how this could happen outside a major venue with security just steps away. The employee sharing those concerns with the PNC team. He says he was told they will increase security in the parking lots.
The next concert that we go to, we're just going to leave all the windows down and just let them look and see there ain't nothing in there.
Trisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
Now to an update out of Statesville. Overnight, City Council has voted to approve a rezoning request for a massive data center on Stamey Farm Road.
Now, before this, dozens of neighbors voiced their concerns, acknowledging how those changes could impact their rural community. However, the developers tried to address those concerns. Take a listen.
We take great care to tend to the safety of our operations and our personnel and the communities that surround our campus. So please know that we don't take safety lightly by any stretch. We care deeply for our communities and our employees at the site.
Right now, there's no timeline on when construction could start in that area.
Things are now back to normal in York County, but concerns continue to spread across the county after 2 boil water advisories were issued in the last 2 weeks. County leaders we spoke to say they are not taking any chances, and those alerts are meant to protect both the residents and businesses. Now, while it's an inconvenience, some say safety is the priority.
I mean, I think everybody kind of finds that a little concerning and kind of like what's going on, but we just kind of prepare and do what we can to prepare for it and make sure that nobody gets contaminated in here.
The county says it will continue testing water samples to make sure the water is not contaminated.
Coming up, Majestic has all the latest on problems showing up on your morning commute.
Well, good morning. Good morning. What's going on? We have a coastal low. Sometimes these can be beastly. Now, they're still going to dump a lot of rain, especially over in Virginia. I think up to 3 inches of rain. We're just dealing with kind of the indirect effects of some clouds, maybe a little bit of rain, but we're pretty distant from this. And as this is pushing its way further off towards the north, we will see a chance for an overnight shower tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then after that, it's pulling out, and then no worries, no concerns. Right around 80 degrees either side thereof. Some of us get into the lower 80s, some of us the upper 70s. And the main reason why for that big difference across the area is that some are going to have more clouds compared to others during the morning heading into the afternoon. And that's all because of that cloud cover that I think is going to be ending the day. And then before you know it, this is the bottom. We're right back up to the upper 80s again on Friday and Saturday. So we're flipping that summer switch back on, and it is still technically summer. So I guess we're turning off the spring switch, and this could be the last challenge of 90 degrees. So hear me out. October 13th is the latest we ever hit 90 degrees. So I'm not saying that we're not going to do this. 2019 was crazy that we actually went into the first days of October in the upper 90s, so a record stretch there. But over the last 3 years, we've typically ended anywhere from the 7th to the 22nd. This would actually be pretty early for us, but just letting you know, it could be the last chance challenging that 9-0 mark. As for our extended forecast, things are trending well. The Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast brings that to the top, and then back to the lower to the mid 80s, heading into the last days of summer. Can you believe it? Officially calling it fall on Monday. Let's get over to Majestic. Good morning to you. What's going on?
Good morning, everyone. Well, wow, it's a really busy start to those area roadways this morning. I-85, I-77. It's just really getting congested as more people are up and at 'em out on those roads. Look at our drive times. If you're coming in from Salisbury, it's going to take you over 1 hour, 47 minutes if you're coming in from Gastonia, so plan accordingly. Yeah, we have our typical delays, but we also have a handful of ongoing crashes. Want to take you out to areas east of Charlotte. This one here is a new crash. It's on I-485 northbound at exit 36 Rocky River Road. Look at all of that red there. It's a headache. It's that outer loop right there at 485. And then just to the side of that, a crash here on Albemarle Road at Rocky River Church Road. Still seeing some impacts there as well. Want to take you north of Uptown as we're looking just by I-77. It's not on I-77, but it's right near it. There's still this ongoing crash on Statesville Ave near Catawba Ave. Still seeing a lot of orange, meaning that cars are moving slowly. It's not a blocked lane or anything like that. It's just slowing folks down this morning. Independence is not great. We have a stalled vehicle right there on 247, and then a crash just to the north of it, still on Independence. One lane is blocked because of it on exit 244.
Well, today, the perfect day to let that childlike creativity flow. It's National Play-Doh Day. The crafting clay invented by a guy named Joe McVicker in Cincinnati, originally sold as wallpaper cleaner back in the 40s. But a few years later, McVicker began testing the cleaner as modeling clay in classrooms and daycares for students. And now we've got Play-Doh. It became a big hit with kids and even adults out there everywhere. Very nice. By the way, let me show this. Chris Mulcahy.
The talent we have here.
Did this morning before the show. It's like a little bear.
Really good.
It's very impressive.
He spent a lot of time working on that. There we go.
Here you go. Show it to you. Look at the detail there.
I mean, look at the detail in the blue and the green. That's the really impressive
Paws.
part.
I mean.
Eyes,
anyway,
eyebrows.
I know. Yours and mine were not quite as good.
I mean, just slightly.
Butterfly.
Not as good as that. Caterpillar.
Hers looked like cannoli.
It was not.
All right, a lot of pictures right now over Uptown. We're back with another check of your forecast and traffic right here on WCNC Plus.
Well, good morning, everybody. Right around 80 degrees is going to be our high today. Beautiful skies, but we are going to see more clouds by the end of the day, but no problem whatsoever. A straight gust up to about 20 plus, not out of the question as well. Now for our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, this is the bottom, 80 degrees. That's going to be the coolest high, at least over the next 7. And then we're back to around 90 degrees. The upper 80s on Friday and Saturday could be the last challenge of this range, but we have been fooled before. And then we're officially calling it fall by about Monday, and first Panthers preseason or regular season game looking good at home. Majestic, take it away.
Get to it. It's a busy start to the day. This is I-85 here. Not looking too bad, but boy, do we have a handful of ongoing crashes. Our drive time's also not looking the best. Over an hour if you're coming in from Salisbury this morning. I mean, this map is very, very busy. You're going to want to plan accordingly. Want to take you east of Charlotte 485, the outer loop right there. There's an accident impacting northbound lanes, exit 36. That's Rocky River Road. And an additional crash right here on Albemarle Road. Have a great day.